Okay, in this video we're going to have a look at biological methods of for the extraction of metals. Okay, and there's going to be two. The first one we're going to look at is called phytoextraction. Phyto is Greek for plants, and remember extraction is removal. So this is extraction of metal, removal of metal from the ground using plants. And the way it works is a series of steps. So what we do is we grow the plant in ground that contains the metal that we want to extract. Okay, and what happens during that process is the metal is absorbed by the plant. The metal compounds absorbed and build up in the plant body, in the leaves and the body of the plant. It's absorbed up in through, as you can see from the picture. What we then need to do is we come along and we harvest the plant once it's had time to grow and absorb the metal compounds. We harvest it, we dry it out. Once we've done that, we then burn it to get the ash, and within the ash are the metal compounds that we need. So we have a choice then. We can use electrolysis or displacement in order to get the metal compound from the ash at the end. Okay, so that's phytoextraction. The second one is bioleaching, and bioleaching is using bacteria in order to extract the metal. And the way this works is the bacteria is added to the ore, and it reacts with the metal compounds, and it splits the metal compounds, and it uses the energy from those compounds to keep doing its job. Okay, from the bond breaking, it uses the energy from the bonds in order to do its job. That leads to a solution forming, and that solution will contain the metal ions, and we can take that solution away, and then we do the same as we did with the phytoextraction. We use electrolysis or displacement in order to collect the metal. So they're both biological. This is bacteria, this is plants. So we're using living things in order to extract the metal. They have pluses and minuses, advantages and disadvantages. Let's have a look at the advantages first. So number one, it allows us to use low grade ore. What that means is at the moment we get all our metal from the earth. There's only so much metal in the earth, and the best supplies of that metal have already been mined. So we're always looking for new sources. If we find patches of the earth that contain less metal there but in less quantity, that's low grade, then we can start to use these methods to extract that. It makes it cost effective. Sometimes they'll use this on the waste from other mines that they've used to dig it out, and instead of throwing it away, they'll use one of these two processes on that as well. This is also less environmentally damaging. So if we start to dig great big holes to get down into the ground and get the metals out, the ores out, that's far more damaging to the environment. Also, it's going to be less CO2 produced in these two ways, less need for machinery that you would normally have, the diggers and the big trucks lifting the ore out of the ground. There's much less need for that. Negatives to this, particularly the bioleaching one. One of the products this produces is sulfuric acid, which is toxic, and that can then run off into the environment, and that's a concern. The second thing is that they're both quite slow, so they're not speedy processes. They're going to take time, and if you want your metals, then you're going to have to wait for those to form. Okay, so understand the two processes, how they work, and know some positives and negatives for each of those two processes.